In this twist tutorial, you'll learn how to fold the three-fold rotationally symmetric hybrid hexagon twist. And this is a closed open hybrid hexagon twist, and we're going to be folding it without any pre-creasing, so directly onto the grid. I do recommend using a bone folder during the folding process. And this twist is part of the Summer of Twists series of tutorial videos that I'm putting out. And I do recommend going back and watching the videos and practicing the closed and open hexagon twists before trying the hybrid hexagon twist. You can also sign up for email reminders on a weekly basis to help you work through the series. And that is at training.gatheringfolds.com/summer. There's also an ebook where you can find crease patterns for tessellations that use this twist and all the other twists in the series, 2 tessellations for each twist. So we're going to first fold the twist directly from the grid, then look at the crease pattern seen from the front and the back. And then I'll link to a longer tutorial that you can watch on using this twist in a repeating pattern. So let's start in the center. I'm using an 8-fold triangle grid on a square. And if you're not familiar with this grid, you can find instructions on how to fold it in the Summer of Twists welcome video. So I've identified the center of my paper, and I'm going to start drawing mountain folds coming into the center. My first one is going to be coming directly to the center, and then I'll rotate my grid. And actually, I'm going to rotate so that each grid line is horizontal, coming out to the right. Now that next grid direction is going to pass 1 grid spacing above the center of the paper. And then rotating to the next direction, that one will come directly to the center. Rotating to the next direction, that one will be 1 grid spacing above. Next direction, into the center. Next direction, 1 grid spacing above. So these are my mountain folds. And my valleys are going to be above the mountain as it's coming out to the right. So valley folds, and I'm not drawing them all the way into the center because we're going to see that everything in the center ends up getting erased. And so now I have what my mountains and my valleys are projecting in towards the center. Now it's time to solve how we can get this to fold flat. So I'm going to pick up and I'm going to start with one of my mountains that's missing the center, that's going 1 spacing away from the center. Because what we'll see actually is a great big triangle formed by these mountain folds. And that will be the same triangle that ends up on top in the end. So I'll start with one of those pleats and then add in the next one. And notice I made this little indentation to help this lay down flat. And you can really work around in any order. I like to add my new folds kind of on top of what I've already done. So that was the layer I was working on most recently. And I'll fold in on top and on top and on top. Notice I'm keeping this little indent on all of my pleats that are headed straight into the center. And this one will come in on top as well. So now we have this kind of raised triangle platform and these sunken in points underneath. So this grid is large enough that I can get in here with my fingers, but in other grids, you're going to want to use a bone folder to press in these indents and just make sure everything is smooth and these corners are well centered. As you work your way around, pressing in those indents, pressing in those indents. And now we have this triangle platform brought down to the surface of our desk, and we can flatten everything. And see on the back side that we have 3 of those pleats around a closed hole and 3 of the pleats acting like they're coming around an open hole, like an open hexagon. So this is kind of startling when you realize that these 6 pleats are all working together in the same twist. But it's true, and we do see that great big triangle twisting around pretty significantly as the twist is folded. So now for the crease pattern, on this side, we lose the extensions of the mountain folds that are coming straight into the center, but we keep the extensions of the mountains that are going around that are missing the center. This valley I drew slightly too far in, and we have new valley folds. Actually, that's too far in as well. We have new valley folds all the way around in the shape of an open hexagon twist. So this is the view from the front, yet we have this whole hexagon of valleys. And then we also have new mountain folds on grid lines out here for each of these closed, so going into the centers, closed type pleats. And that's showing up for all 3 of those. So it's a rather funky crease pattern, and we'll see it a little bit clearer on the back side, where we don't have any of these extensions of folds going into things. So flipping over, what we've got are these kind of wings coming in to the center, and then there's these pleats coming out of the pockets of each wing. So drawing from the center out, I have these valleys for the centermost triangle, and those are on grid lines. Unusual for a twist, but that's what's going on. And then I have this hexagon in mountain folds all the way around that is not on grid lines. And I'll go ahead and draw the mountains coming out of the corners of this hexagon. And then we have these valleys that are kind of pinching and setting off the next valleys, all on grid lines. And last but not least, we have the mountains coming out of these pinches. So that is the three-fold rotationally symmetric hybrid hexagon twist. It's folded from the side where the centermost folds are mountains, and it's folded directly from the grid, no pre-creasing needed. But if you did want to pre-crease, all that you would do is fold an open hexagon twist. So no need to pinch each of these 6 folds individually. You could just fold an open hexagon, either right or left-handed. The open hexagon works either way and from either side of the paper. And then you can get your 3-fold hybrid hexagon twist, which can be used in a broader pattern like in this tutorial right here. And it features in Advanced Twist Techniques and Tessellation Gardens, 2 of my other programs that both have dozens, if not hundreds, of crease patterns included in them. So check out the links to those down in the description, and happy folding. I'll see you in the next video.